Guys, Ryan Biddle here, blogging from paradise. One of the reasons why, the only reason why, hate to say that, but it's true, the only reason why 2020, cold shower, red eyes, appears to really stink, why it's just, for so many people, they say 2020 is the worst year, is because of your mind. It's all happening in your mind. You're creating it in your mind with your fear. Everything is a completely neutral event that when you judge it, and you project, you perceive it through fear, you're creating pain, suffering, grieving, attachment, anger, rage in your mind. Nobody else could do it. It can't happen. It can't happen. People trigger in you, events trigger in you, and heck yeah, if you're not training to wade through the spiritual jungle for decades. I mean, I've been at this for a decade, and I'm still going through the spiritual jungle. We all are, the non-enlightened beings of the world. But if you don't really train yourself spiritually, managing your energy through meditation, high energy prayer, not the really low energy prayer of desperation, but the high energy, I believe I'm a lowercase g God, speaking to God, communing, listening. If you don't do that stuff every day for decades of your life, Exhibit A is 2020 and the idea that it's this horrible year. Time's an illusion. Everything that's happening is a neutral event, and the more you train your mind and you become not so much strong-minded, but hyper aware of your fears, and you feel them and you release them, you will observe everything around you from a state of grace, poise, equanimity, balance, compassion. It's not about hardening your heart, not about being angry, because that's all fear too, and that's in your mind. It's 100% in your mind. Everything that's happening right now is a neutral event. But if you don't expand your awareness, these events will trigger the fear in your mind, and you'll blame other people. You'll blame the calendar. You'll blame an illusion, because time's an illusion. You'll look at this calendar, you'll be like, you're the worst. And that's what ego does when ego is filled with fear. So if you want to be free of the matrix, I invite you to begin meditating. Start for 5 minutes a day. Follow your breathing. Nose in and out. Breath in, breath out. Just concentrate and see what comes up. Engage in types of yoga. Maybe Kriya Yoga. Learn a little bit about that. Read Autobiography of a Yogi, the Paramahansa Yogananda story. Learn a little more about Kriya. You can explore Yin Yoga. You could just spend time in a quiet room. But I would suggest a meditation and a type of yoga because the mind is like a monkey that jumps from tree to tree, as many enlightened souls have said. Here, there, everywhere, it's crazy. Unless you have some type of structure, and that's when I give practical habits to follow habitually, it's going to be tough to just sit in a quiet room because 99.9% of the population are so afraid of their own fears. The mind is so afraid, the ego is so afraid of fear, it just leaves the room and it says, my mind went crazy. I just couldn't get my mind stopped running. All these games. But when you meditate and you do yoga, Kriya, Yin, Yang, when you're just in deep observation of your mind, the tension in your body, the fears in your mind, how you're judging everything, the fear, I'm afraid of this calendar year. You begin to see that you're just watching it all. That's all you are, as an observer. And you're not the mind. And you also see all the fears in your mind that you're using to color these neutral events around you. If you want to be free of it, and I'm largely at peace, and I have my fears, and I have my stuff. I'm not enlightened. I live a worldly life. Blood vessel in that cold shower this morning. But I'm largely at peace, poised, relaxed, calm. I get triggered. I get scared. Of course. I live a worldly life. I haven't given it all up. I have a wife and business and cares of the world. Not a ton though. And it's because I am resolute in giving so much of my life, like an hour, 2, 3, quarter of my day, 4 hours a day, quarter of my day, 1/6 of my day, I should say, 3 to 4 hours to spiritual advancement. The upsides are limitless because you don't get caught up. You just observe it all. You see that it's kind of like, it's neutral. It's in my mind. You see everything's in your mind. Your mind's creating it all. So when you become aware of what's in your mind and your fears, pain, and grief, and everything you're clinging to from the past, 2020 is just 2020. It's a bunch of events. You have compassion for people that have passed and for the pain and the suffering, but being compassionate means you observe it. You don't get caught up in it. You observe, you feel. I feel for them. Then in the next moment, you move on. That's what compassion is. I feel for them. How could I help? I could help. You do it from such a higher energy of love that you don't step into the fear. Compassion is not, I feel so, it's the observation, it's love, it's help, and then it's understanding too, surrender. I can't help in this scenario. How can I help? I can help by putting this Facebook video up. So guys, 2020 doesn't suck. Everything that's happening right now is a neutral event. It's 100% neutral. All of the enlightened souls of the world will tell you that. Your mind makes it so. And this is so far out of the realm of duality and positivity and negativity. It's observation. It's all happening for us to unfold. We're all gods, lowercase g, in a meat suit. And the more you get into your mind, you realize, wow, these events are occurring. I'm creating it in my mind. If I think it sucks, that's just my fear. So once you start facing, embracing, and releasing your fears, spiritual practices, and you clear them, wow, it just is what it is. What could I do to raise the collective consciousness, to expand awareness, to raise, well, put some Facebook videos up. Maybe I'll start a blog. If I'm a blogger, I'll start publishing higher energy posts, or I'll start a personal development blog. And then that's how you contribute, all because you realized everything in your world is in your mind.